Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. My name is Brittany Page, and I am your guest host for today. Thank you to David for having me back. If you've been enjoying my run as guest host here, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel where I host the Page Perspective. If you're looking to support smaller, independent media, I can help you meet that goal. It looks like we have yet another direct example of pay to play from the Trump administration. How many days has it been now with this man in office? It's like they're running a competition to see just how much corruption they can fit into a certain time frame. And based on the daily headlines, it seems they are overachievers in this regard, because we talked about the pardon that Trump gave to the former Virginia sheriff on the show yesterday, a sheriff who was a big Trump fan, illustrating how Trump rewards loyalty. But now we have what appears to be a more clear example of pay to play, with this going beyond simple Trump fandom. Here we have the case of Paul Walczak, a man who back in 2024 pleaded guilty to 2 of the 13 counts of tax crimes he was charged with. The basic overview here is that he was a nursing home executive who withheld millions of dollars from the paychecks of healthcare professionals on the payroll. He said he was paying employment taxes, using the millions that he was withholding to pay Social Security and federal income tax, but then he didn't. He used that money to travel. He spent money on lavish gifts from brand names that I'm not going to try to pronounce because I can't, and even bought a $2 million yacht. Here we will turn to the New York Times for additional information. Quote, by the time he pleaded guilty to 2 of the counts and agreed to pay the restitution on November 15th, 2024, Mr. Trump had been elected for a second term in the White House. The family had reason to believe the incoming president might look fondly on a pardon application. Ms. Fago, 74, had helped host at least 3 fundraisers for Mr. Trump's campaigns. She and her son, Joey, Mr. Walczak's half-brother, and his wife attended VIP events at Mr. Trump's 2017 and 2025 inaugurations, according to social media posts, including one in which he was shown posing with Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, New York Times calls it Mr. Trump. Ms. Fago is Paul's mother, Elizabeth Fago, and she's a key player here. On Paul's pardon application, they actually don't just cover Paul's situation. They go into his mom's political activism. Quote, Ms. Fago had raised millions of dollars for Mr. Trump's campaigns and those of other Republicans, the application said. It also highlighted her connections to an effort to sabotage Joe Biden Jr.'s 2020 campaign by publicizing the addiction diary of his daughter, Ashley Biden, an episode that drew law enforcement scrutiny. Mr. Walczak's pardon application argued that his criminal prosecution was motivated more by his mother's efforts for Mr. Trump than by his admitted use of money earmarked for employees' taxes to fund an extravagant lifestyle. So this is a common theme among the pardons, unfair political attacks by the Biden administration, but another common theme is that in order to get a pardon, you need to prove your fealty to Trump. And they're certainly making progress, but it wasn't until Elizabeth Fago went to Mar-a-Lago after paying $1 million that she got the pardon done. Quote, still, weeks went by and no pardon was forthcoming, even as Mr. Trump issued clemency grants to hundreds of other allies. Then Ms. Fago was invited to a $1 million per person fundraising dinner last month that promised face-to-face access to Mr. Trump at his private Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. Less than 3 weeks after she attended the dinner, Mr. Trump signed a full and unconditional pardon. It came just in the nick of time for Paul, sparing him from having to pay nearly $4.4 million in restitution and from reporting to prison for an 18-month sentence that had been handed down just 12 days earlier. A judge had justified the incarceration by declaring there is, quote, not a get out of jail free card for the rich. Right. And what does this sound like to you? More pay to play. Endless. It never ends. Every time a Republican goes on TV for an interview on mainstream media, they need to be asked about these specific examples of corruption. They must be pressured to answer for this. Donald Trump, he needs to be asked about this. Caroline Leavitt. The media, they need to come together. They need to stand together to push against this, because the Trump administration has shown they will do whatever it takes to avoid accountability and to squash attempts to hold them accountable. The signal should not be, as long as you're loyal to me, I will take care of you, regardless of what you do. It's dangerous. Sound off in the comments below or find me on YouTube by searching my name, Brittany Page, and tell me what you think over there.